Welcome to Charmed Life, a radio show discussing spirituality, magic, and the unconditional love of the universe. Thanks for tuning in. And I am your host, Tricia Carr. I am so blessed to be here with you today. Oh, did I mess up on the beginning? Okay. We do record this live. We broadcast this live. Well, that's a good segue. We broadcast this live every Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific. You can watch us on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Tricia Carr, or on Facebook. And, but yeah, that's why a little bit of a glitch there sometimes. Being live, then you get to see it all happen. And I thought that maybe we had a little tech issue. Anyway, back to you guys. Thanks for joining me here. Also, I would love it if you would like, subscribe, share, comment, review. Did you know you can review the podcast if you go to iTunes or whatever your podcast app on your phone is? If you just scroll down, you'll see a place to review. You could give me 4 stars, 5 stars. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if you gave me 5 stars. If you like this at all, and you could write a review, or you could just say awesome and give me the 5 stars. That would be super helpful to me. It helps us to benefit. It helps us to boost that algorithm so that we can spread this light together. And also, I want to tell you guys about my Mystic Arts Academy. That is something that I have both locally in Los Angeles, and it's offered as a live stream for every one of the classes. I have a development class, and so this is for your intuitive and mediumship development. It is actually limited space because there's a lot of one-on-one, a lot of individualized attention, and it is twice per month. So go check it out. Just go to my website, triciacarcharm.com, and under Work With Me, you will find the Mystic Arts Academy. You'll be able to see when that development class is, and you'll also be able to see the other offerings that I have. I have many on-demand classes, including my full comprehensive animal communication program that comes with a community of people who are practicing and studying together. It is gorgeous. And in addition, I'm doing master and advanced workshops every single month. So go check that out, please, and join us. Again, you can join online, or you can join in locally in Los Angeles. Actually, in Burbank is where my studio is located. And with that, I am very excited to welcome on my illustrious guest. Her name is Barbara Goldsmith. She is a professional astrologer. She's been a practicing astrologer for over 30 years, which I find incredibly impressive. She also channels the Pleiadians. She has a wealth of experience in both astrology, from beginners to advanced levels, and giving personal astrology readings. She has a growing worldwide audience who enjoy her regular monthly forecasts on YouTube. So she does the energy reports. That is so very helpful. And like I said, also channeling the Pleiadians, who have so much to say about what is up and coming for this really dynamic decade that we have. A lot of people have been getting the messages, particularly from star beings, from the cosmos. Barbara is an accomplished speaker and presenter. She's hosted her own local radio show and television show. Very, very exciting. She writes articles for various publications and websites about astrology, and is the author of several books on astrology and finance. Well, that's not going to upset anyone to learn about how astrology can help them financially. She brings a unique mix to the field of astrology with her intuitive astrological knowledge, together with her practical business experience. So, oh my goodness, welcome to Charmed Life, Barbara Goldsmith.
Thank you very much, Tricia, for having me on your show. I'm honored to be here.
It's such an honor to me. And I have to say also that you just have such a light, such a beautiful energy, like just connecting with you right now and, watching your YouTube videos. It's just really such a high vibration experience, the frequency that you emit. So I appreciate that so much for myself individually and for what that is doing for our beautiful world.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And so you do, like I say, the energy forecasts, the astrology forecasts, and tell people about some of the work that you were doing, or about the journey that has brought you to this really fascinating, kind of career that you have. It's really amazing. It's one of those unique job descriptions, isn't it?
Yes, it's one that you have to write for yourself, really. It's not one that others write for you. I guess it just kind of evolved out of a passion for the unseen. Mm. That which I couldn't see felt more or as important as that which I could see. Mm. And I was always drawn to this whole area, as I imagine you have been too, Tricia, in your life.
Yes.
It's just fascinating. I think that we're going through a huge awakening. Astrologically, we've just had Uranus go into Taurus last month, where it's going to stay for the next 7 years. And Taurus rules the senses, not only the 5 senses, but all the other senses that we've got that connect with the unseen realms, especially the sense of intuition, your emotional sense, your sense of balance. I mean, there's so many senses that we haven't explored yet. And I think that with this Uranus into Taurus, we've got to get beyond the 5 senses.
That's amazing.
Tune into a lot more. I think that's the next step.
The senses of that unseen that you mentioned. And so as it rules rules the senses, does that imply then as that it's, well, I guess Taurus is quite a dynamic energy. So that means that it will be enhanced and the space will be held for us globally or universally to enhance all of our senses or kick against it, I guess, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. And Taurus rules the throat and this whole voice chakra and speaking out. So people who are speaking, the awakening of the senses will be powerfully activated.
Maybe a lot more channels coming through, huh?
Yes. But also your work, the kind of work that you're doing, I think will become much more widespread, and that there will be more interest in hearing and being activated, because words are extremely powerful. Wow. You can use words to really hurt somebody, or you can use words to heal someone. Just one word can change someone's life. Just one word. And I think that's the power that we've got with this Uranus in Taurus, that it's affecting all of us. It's not just Taurians, it's everybody.
And so when did that occur? When did it actually move in approximately?
It went in properly now in March.
Oh, amazing.
It just really happened. So, yeah.
And so this, as we're broadcasting this, this is actually April of 2019. I have to say personally, back in, I think it was October, November of 2018, I kept getting this message from my guides about individually there was going to be a great shift in March. And my birthday's in March, but a lot of things did shift for me in March. And I'll bet, and in addition to that, in 2019, we are in a universal year of 3, which is also the communication and expression and creativity number. So, wow, no wonder.
Yes. I'm always amazed by how the astrology describes the shifts that humanity is facing or is about to face.
That's brilliant. And
mind-blowing.
And so that is happening now and for about the next 7 years. So that brings us pretty well into a really powerful movement between 2020 and 2030. And have the Pleiadians been talking about this? Because I've heard other channels speaking of a time period. Well, actually, I've heard are you familiar with Daralanka, who channels Bashar?
No. Yes.
Yes.
I very much admire his channeling.
Oh, he's wonderful. And he's been on the show as well. And Bashar is speaking of a period of about 2025 to approximately 2040, 2050 as a window where first contact could be experienced. And so what are the Pleiadians or is astrology? What are they? What is the indication about this really powerful decade that we're approaching?
Yeah, well, astrologically, I can tell you first, and then I'll bring the Pleiadians if you would like.
Absolutely, yes.
Sure. Astrologically, it gets kicked off next year on January the 12th.
Okay.
Where we've got a Saturn-Pluto conjunction, and this happens very rarely, and it's happening in Capricorn, and Jupiter is coming into Capricorn, so there's all this Capricorn energy. And I don't know if you remember what happened in 2008, which was when Pluto went into Capricorn, but that was when we had the global economic crisis.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember, and where most of the bankers just got away scot-free, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah, not much accounting, and everything has gone on from there with more and more debt, with most of the Western world countries being bankrupt and printing more and more money.
Right.
So at some point, there has to be an accounting. Saturn and Pluto, this is a very significant point at the beginning of next year, astrologically. Pluto is in Capricorn until 2024. And this has everything to do with governments, structures. I mean, I think it was quite a surprise as to who has been elected in the United States. I think that was not what one would have anticipated had you asked 10 years ago.
10 months even? Yes. No, 10 years is certainly, it's weird. It was weird if you think about it 10 months ago. 10 years ago, it's crazy.
Right? So there's that. You can look at England right now and Brexit and all this nonsense, and Europe and how that affects, and how we are truly global. There has been the talk of the one and that we affect one another. But now I think we're seeing that if you just look around your home, the things that are in it probably come from all over the world.
Yes.
We are so connected. And I think that this is now, as we move into the age of Aquarius, which is what is coming, as Pluto moves into Aquarius in 2023, 24, for 20 years till 2044, which is the point at which people are saying this could be singularity. Right. This could be where machines become more intelligent than us. There will be a quest for immortality. I think there will be the merging of the technological with the biological and the ethics around that. Gosh, there's a lot here, Tricia. I'm doing a whole seminar about this, a big weekend coming up in October in Greece. And there'll be a live stream as well.
Oh, wonderful.
So much to share as to how we can empower one another and ourselves to use these energies constructively.
Well, we definitely will have a link for that and it's, did you say it was in October? Oh, good. So we have some time. So we'll have a link. We'll have a link for that in the show notes, folks. So have a look for that, however you're listening to this. Now, I wonder about, that whole singularity and the quest for immortality. See, that begs the question, how, if we had immortality in the physical form, then how on earth would we, the dystopic films, then that would then indicate that we would no longer be able to procreate because we would just not have enough room on this planet. We do have the limitation in the time-space construct. What is your opinion or your insight about topics such as that, immortality?
Well, I think there's a big quest for it. I think there's going to be I think medicine is going to make huge advances. And I think that people will live longer. But there's a bigger question to it, which is, and this is to me what Aquarius is about, what is it to be a human being? What is the essence of being human? And I think that's going to be the question, is immortality the answer? Do we need death in order to see the value of life? I mean, these are massive questions. I'm not sure that I have the answers or that I've thought through it well enough at this point. What do you think, Tricia? What's your feeling on that?
Well, there's obviously, we have endless perspectives. So from this more 3D, 4D perspective, I guess the first thing I would consider is that, well, if we do somehow achieve either really, really extended lives or somewhat immortality, that it probably wouldn't be absolutely everyone on the planet immediately at once. I don't think that nature fosters such a dramatic shift. So even if it were, let's say, some kind of segue of some folks shifting into longer lives, well, I mean, honestly, in the last 100, 150 years, our lifespan has doubled almost, or you know what I mean? Like the expectancy has at least gone up to 35, 40%. I know when my husband's grandmother lived to 104, but the year that she was born, the average life expectancy for a woman was like 58. So, you know, that's she's kind of a radical example of how things have shifted. And so from that perspective, and like I say, if we do segue into it, it just again that we have a limited kind of construct to this star, to this Earth, then we wouldn't be able to procreate or create new bodies. So we already have such 7.5 billion. So from that perspective, it's hard to kind of figure out that math, I think. From the more expanded, from the higher perspective, I mean, I do think about beings of light, and, you know, I work with the nature realms, the inner planes, the, you know, elemental nature spirits, and as they explain to me what their sort of mortality/immortality is that it's just fluid, that they're always changing, but since they don't really create a dense form that they at some point stop creating, if we look at it linearly, that they are just dynamically shifting and changing all the time. So I don't know. It's kind of, I think that we would just maybe, in order for it to all make some sense from that, from the multidimensional standpoint, then perhaps it would be something more like a golden age where there is transdimensionality as well. That's where I think I can kind of have it make a little sense, where some beings would be partially physical or in and out of physicality. That's what does that make sense to you at all? Did that make sense at all?
Yes, it did. It's very, very perceptive. Yes. Yes. I mean, it's a very big subject. And then, of course, you have to look at the people who maybe are given so-called immortality. How are they using that? Are they using it consciously? Are these conscious human beings? Right. Or are they just unconscious beings who are living a long time?
Yes, and so it seems like the spirit, if they were unconscious beings, then the spirit or the soul creates the physical form. So then it doesn't seem like it could possibly continue then. Then they would be somewhat empty vessels. If we were just keeping, there would be eventually vegetables, just bodies that were animated, but there wouldn't be essence because the conscious form, the consciousness actually creates the physical form. So if there's not a connection there of consciousness, then it's not sustainable, I'm thinking. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I mean, there are those saying that by the end of this century, we won't be able to tell the difference between robots and humans, right. Cyborgs. You know, I mean, that seems to be what's coming. It sounds like science fiction, but if you'd have said to somebody 50 years ago, everybody would hold these little cell phones and know them where they're going. And I mean, those people in that time would have thought you've gone crazy. So,
right. That feels very much like an expansion of the universal architecture. If we think about source energy creating archangels or beings of light, and then the oversouls, and then the oversouls dispatching the consciousnesses that create the physical beings. And so then we are sort of, if we do it consciously, we're kind of adding to that chain, partnering with source energy, consciousness, to create a new kind of form, I guess. I have never thought about it this way, Barbara. You're amazing.
No, we're co-creating here, aren't we, Tricia? Yeah.
Fascinating.
The excitement of this whole new stage that we're moving into.
So it all seems that the only way it is, again, sustainable, which of course we know the only way anything is sustainable is if these different evolutions are approached, are evolutions. They are evolvements that include conscious creation rather than unconscious and void. I think that those efforts just dematerialize naturally because there isn't the creator essence, which is the essence of materialization, I guess.
Yes.
So the Pleiadians, actually, let's talk about, when did you start channeling and having a connection with the Pleiadians? And let's assume maybe also that people are like, what the heck is Pleiadian? What does that mean? Who are these beings, and how are they helping and supporting us?
Well, I'd always had an interest in the Pleiadians. I had read many years ago Barbara Marciniak's books about the Pleiadians, which I thought were great, Bringers of the Dawn, particularly one of her books. But then for years, I never really thought about it. And then almost 4 years ago, and I'd never really been into channeling. You know, I was a musician first and foremost, but then I went into business and money and all those kinds of things. So the channeling was brand new for me, and I had no expectations at all. And then all of a sudden, the Pleiadians came in. I mean, I had a big body experience that's still going on somewhat. And then very clearly, it was the Pleiadians coming through. I could not have mistaken it for anything else. And so it's been going on for almost 4 years, and now I do quite a lot of personal channelings and also the regular ones online. And seeing it where it goes.
And the Pleiadians are what density are they, or dimensionality? Are they like 5, 6, something along those lines?
Well, my lot don't tend to answer that question very directly. Okay, I call them my lot. They're not my lot. But the ones that I seem to be bringing through somehow say that they can be on any dimension. It isn't so. The idea of dimensions, they say, is somewhat linear.
It definitely is. It's a way for us to try to figure it out because we are so linear. And maybe that is, well, kind of what was coming through about the immortality is that it would, and the transdimensionality. I guess my question is, are they physical, partially physical, part-time physical, always non-physical, more spirit? Is that a question that they...
Shall I ask them? Oh. It's easier for them to answer that than it is for me.
I would love that. Thank you so much. Lovely.
Okay. Let me just have a sip of water.
Sure. Me too.
Oh, we are delighted to be with you here. What a pleasure it is to be in your presence, dear Tricia. What a delight it is, yeah? Barbara doesn't do a lot of interviews, but we told her to do this one, Oh, we do tell her, We're a little bossy, but she doesn't always do it, Sometimes she does, sometimes she says, no, bugger you. So anyway, she said yes this time, and we're delighted that she did because you two are very complementary to one another, yeah? You realize that, don't you?
Yes. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So, yes, we are delighted to be with you. And what is it you would like us to discuss today, yeah? You want to discuss, are we in form? Are we not in form?
Yes.
We're on form, that we can tell you.
Yes, that would be great. I'm curious about how you are expressed. Form, some kind of partial form. How could I possibly understand it?
Well, we are... How can we say? We are just beings that are connected with you on planet Earth, yes? We are a frequency, would be the best way of describing us. We are a certain frequency that brings in fun because we're very funny, and we are joyful, and we are loving, and we are showing you that everything is possible. You live in a realm of great possibility. And this is a wonderful portal that is opening, portals opening upon all of your planets, many planets. There are many Earths, but that's another subject. Yeah. But there are many, many, many openings now for you to now move on to a different frequency band. And if you like, we are on a different frequency band. Does that help?
Yes, I understand that, or at least I feel it. Possibly my conscious mind will take that.
That's better, because it's very difficult for us to verbalize it, yeah?
Yes.
It's a feeling more than anything, because we don't come through visually.
Right. Right. Absolutely. It's actually, I'm wondering, this is maybe not the most expected question, but as I do...
Not any question, anything. Barbara doesn't, but we do.
Would you be able to speak to the experience that I have and that some other folks have of sort of what I tend to call either ascended animals or ultra elementals, again, not to be too linear, like unicorns and dragons? Are these...
Yes.
Could you speak to these types of beings?
Well, these are beautiful beings. They are magical beings, yes? Mm-hmm. They bring magic. They bring alchemy. They bring the possibility. They bring a light energy. Deep, deep, deep light energy, yes? Mm. They are effervescent. Sparkling beings, yeah? You understand?
Yes.
And they affect your vibration, you see. So this is what they are here to do. They sparkle. They bring sparkle and magic to you. And they're very light frequency. And they help you to make quick changes. They help you to heal things very quickly. Yes, they're very powerful energies, very, very powerful and very gentle, gentle. You understand?
Yeah, very much. Yes.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. And I want to, a question that I have is, what is the sort of snapshot of the energy of this particular Earth at this time? How is it working toward more of the unity consciousness? We have a lot of, I believe that as we're moving into more unity, then it sort of kicks up the dust around some things that are disintegrated. How are we looking with the integration? Are we going to split off, or at least the one that I'm on, going to split off into something that is a bit more of that integrated and unified consciousness in a radical way?
Well, that's a big question, and we are not sure we've understood you clearly. So maybe we need to clarify. Sure. How is the Earth doing? Well, the Earth's doing badly in some ways and very well in other ways, as we are sure you understand.
Yes.
Because things are polarized greatly and will become more and more polarized as the time moves on. Time, that you're going to reassess time very soon. You're going to look at time and say, goodness, we've been doing it wrong. We've been doing it wrong. Goodness gracious, we got it all wrong. Yes, it's a bit like you're going to reinvent Einstein's laws. Yes, you're going to really bring the Tesla and all the other wonderful people that were suppressed. The knowledge that has been suppressed will come out, you see, and you'll find that you'll see time from a very different perspective, because you'll be visiting other planets, you see. Interplanetary travel is going to become the norm very, very soon. It's not very far away. You're looking at colonies on Mars, yes. There is much more to come. There is much more that is potentials here. But as for the frequency and the unity, well, yes, unity has to come. It has to come. Yes. It's just a question of how you're going to manage it and who is going to be here and how many will be here ultimately as the one, as the expression of the one. But of course, you're getting many opportunities. Look at you here with your internet. Yes. What a unique opportunity you have to affect millions upon your globe, even just by your thinking together. You can come together on the internet, just 25 of you. 25 is enough. And focused thinking, and you can manifest. You have no idea what you can do with your focused thought and prayer and energy. You still haven't experimented with it very much yet. You're on the tip of it, Goodness gracious. Yeah.
25 is a sort of somewhat magical number, enough light or enough conscious energy to create a radical shift. Maybe this is something similar to what happened. What was it in our time of the 1990s when we had the Phoenix Lights, and there was a consciousness project on a radio program called Coast to Coast, and many people, it seemed to be the natural or the effect of that consciousness program on the radio program. Then we had the sighting of the Phoenix Lights. Was that? Can you speak to that? What the Phoenix Lights were, or who that was?
Phoenix Lights. Well, that was a people awakening point. It was another awakening point, yes. It was a place where people came together and really decided, right, we want to awaken, we're ready for different frequencies to come up on our planet Earth. And you really brought about a big shift. 1987 was, of course, a very big time. Yes, the harmonic convergence began then. This was a very, very big moment. And now you're moving to a very different moment, yes? There are bigger moments, and they are faster, and they are more quick. So you have to be much more conscious than you have ever been. The consciousness now is so much more, it's so different than it was then. Yes, you understand? There's been a huge shift from then to now. But at that time, there was an opening. This was an opening of the doors. And the doors have gotten wider and wider, and more bad things, so what you would term bad things, are going to really hit the fan. Yes, you're going to have to deal with a lot of difficulties upon this planet Earth, because it's the only way to get most of you to wake up.
Yes. Unfortunately, we do love to learn by difficulties, don't we?
It's too nice. You all go to sleep. You just go to sleep. You nod off.
Yes, indeed. Now, how about this coming decade of 2020? Barbara was talking to us about astrologically the implications, Is this how can you speak to what we seem to be moving into, the energies we're moving into there?
Yeah, well, this coming decade is one the way you're going to find yourselves. Each person will find their individuality. That is what is to come through. Each person has something individual to do. You're always looking at other people and saying, is this all right? Is this all right? Am I all right? Do I look all right in this? Instead of deciding, this is what I am doing. This is what I'm good at. This is where I shine. And I'm going to follow this. And I'm going to allow myself to be guided. And I'm going to follow it, you see. You'll find all kinds of weird and wonderful ways that people will make a living. And they will exchange services. And they will find value in every single person because everyone has something of value. And you're going to learn about value. What is important and what need we throw out? Yes, that is going to be a very, very big subject coming up. What do I value and why do I value it? And where am I putting my attention? Wherever your attention is where you shine your light, of course. So where are you shining your light and why are you shining it there? You see? And you're going to have to be conscious, extra conscious in every moment, in every single moment. You cannot go to sleep for a moment, you see. Sleep will change. Patterns of sleep will change. Patterns of food will change. Patterns of eating will change. All your needs are going to change. The things that you thought you needed, you won't need anymore. That's going to be interesting. The whole definition of work and what that means is going to change. Earning a living, that is going to change. Who owns what? Ownership is going to change. That may take a little longer. Ownership is probably going to take another 100 years or so. But you are in the beginning stages of all these areas, making a big shift. You understand what we mean?
Yes, it sounds like it would be the natural answer to the difficulties that we do have with our monetary system and the way that it has been seeming to collapse into itself. If you're talking about, exchange of services and just shifting what we think about value and valuing. Evaluating.
Yes. Life and how you value life upon this planet Earth. You're still killing each other. You're making missiles and bombs and submarines. Yes, and those peaceful ones, if you look at that and say, oh, that's awful, I'm not like that, but are you? You see, you have to ask yourself, what is your thinking pattern? Are you always peaceful or not? Yes, because what is in your external world is still a reflection of that which is internally somewhere, maybe not to such an extent, maybe not to such drama. Yes, there is a drama playing out.
Yes.
And, it's very polarized, but you have to look within as well as without, yes? The journey is this awareness and not being afraid if you're angry. It's all right to be angry, yes? A lot of you so-called, shall we say, some of the, higher vibrational frequencies, you think, oh, you shouldn't be angry about that. Well, it's fine to be angry for a little while.
Right.
It's just not to hold on to it, you see. It's when it becomes bitterness and resentment, that's when it becomes a problem. But you see, just being angry for a moment, it's all right. It frees the energy. It's all right. Accept all of the emotions. Let them in, let them through. Yeah.
That also brings me to a question. Yes, letting them all flow, right? Because they're all they all can be valued, and anger can be very motivating. It is very action oriented.
Think about fire energy. Fire is a certain angry energy, can't it be?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and we need it. We need it to actually dematerialize. It's a great support, a great service to us.
The energy of the sun is fire energy. Yeah.
Lovely, absolutely. I do. You mentioned the eating, and I have always been curious, as I love nature, and we are nature, of course, and animals, and I work. I work with all these different kinds of beings, and it does seem that our animals, who are much more natural and are not quite as readily becoming unconscious, how they naturally do know how, if the facility is there, they eat appropriately. So like my domestic cats, they are obligate carnivores. And then we have other, horses who are vegetarians. How come humans can't seem to figure that out? Why can't we?
Yeah, isn't it wonderful? Yes, because you've been given free choice.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and you come from many different hybrids.
Yes, that's what I've always thought was. So many different hybrids, and so we don't have a mix, and we don't have a natural lineage like a cat is obligate carnivore. We have such a mix of different kinds of DNA, I guess. And so it is individualized.
Absolutely. And for each individual, it will change through a lifetime.
Yes.
It is not to say that it is the same. And that's where the awareness has to come in. Yes, do I need to eat 3 times a day? Do I need just once today? Should I eat at all today? Could I live on sunshine today? Yes. What do I need for today? And to ask your body in every moment, you see, because the body does speak as long as you tune in. But yes, we love that. And there is no one diet. You see, this is why the nutritional world is such an array at the moment, because they're trying to fit people into a certain group. But you can't do that, dear one.
I believe science is trying to create proteins, or like basically meat products that are, I don't know what they're artificially created. Is that something that has consciousness resonating around it that you know, that you can inform us about? I mean, at this time at least?
Not at the moment. It's not very consciously being done.
That's what I thought. Okay.
It can be done consciously.
Okay. Interesting. It feels to me that diet, I mean, it is about valuing again and being able to deepen our consciousness so that it is an exchange, a proper exchange of energy where things are balanced. And that's what's most important.
Exactly so. Exactly so. Beautifully put. We couldn't put it better than that, Tricia.
Thank you. So could you tell us, are you a council that work through Barbara?
Well, we are many. And there is not just one of us. So there is not one that speaks, so to speak. Yeah, we are just many. We can just say, what would you call us? Maybe we are just many. We don't know how else to say it. We are many. You couldn't count us, so to speak, linearly.
Understood. And so the Pleiadians in general, they're working with humans, any who would essentially adjust their frequency and be in receptivity of it.
Well, many of you are Pleiadians.
I've had yes. I've always had a kind of affinity for also the Lyrans, and the Lyrans are, I believe, in the actual Pleiades. Is that true? Are there any Lyrans working in this council?
Yes, absolutely. Many. You see, so once again, it's all overlapping. You love to separate it out.
Yes.
You love it, humans. You say, oh, there's this over there and there's that over there. But actually, we have a specific frequency we acknowledge. Yes, there are different frequencies, but nonetheless, there is a mixture. You can bring in anything you really want to bring in, you know. Yes. Anything.
And are there any particular galactic, I don't know, wars or anything like that where there are beings who, are there any, let me start over. Are there any negative ETs, as we call them, who are engaging in this planet and, you know what I mean, like enhancing our own negativity and unconsciousness? Or is this sort of more of our own projection that we think that there are, you know, people say there are reptilians and whatever who are, that are negative reptilians that are colluding with a certain set of people who are negative on this planet?
That's a very big question, and we're not sure we can answer it black and white as you would like it black and whitely.
Right.
Because it's not black and white, so to speak.
Sure.
We feel as though you're sort of asking, you know, are there negative forces that are outside of humans?
Yes, thank you.
The answer is no, not really. Not in the way that you are visualizing them in your sci-fi things, you know, your Darth Vaders and all that sort of stuff. No, not in that way.
Okay.
But are there, should we say, extraterrestrials on other galaxies, other places who are not very friendly? Yes. Who are not friendly with one another? Yes. But are they interfering with you? Not really, no.
Okay, no. That's interesting. I've heard that. It's interesting because there are some people who sort of have a work surrounding that there are many negative entities, star, you know, others from other stars who are, but then there are people, there are other channels and who are saying, no, that isn't exactly what is going on, that it is mostly us doing it ourselves.
Mostly it's what you create yourselves. And you know that you can create monsters in your mind.
Yes.
You can create monsters on your planet, such as Hitler and Mussolini and these people. And you can create saints on your planet as Mother Teresa. And, you know, it's just really, you create it all, really, you do.
Now, I have a question about the potential of us having the artificial intelligence of the robots, and that as they become more advanced, would they be able to hold a consciousness, something that is actually attached to the lineage of source energy? Is that a potential, or are they going to be, so I guess, are they going to be able to be actually sentient?
Yes.
Yes, they can. Okay. And now humans have a great fear of that sentient potential, that they would then, not have, I guess, compassion, and then they could destroy us. The whole Matrix, the movie The Matrix that we actually had back in I think in the year 2000 or something. Is that more of a potential? I guess it depends on, does it depend on how we are creating these robots?
Very much so. It's how you create and what you do with it, you see.
Okay.
You see, it's very much what you do with it and how you utilize it.
Okay. Interesting.
There's choice. There is free choice here, dear ones. And once again, there will be those who may not use it for the highest, and there will be those who will use it for the highest. And you will have those who live in a certain reality and those who live in a different reality.
And I guess final question. I'll just leave it a little bit open-ended. Are there any particular messages that you, or any instructions or guidance for those of us who are doing the work like I am interested in doing, and connecting with others who maybe we say we're way showers or light workers or whatever it is, on this grand awakening that we're having? How can we, obviously continuing to follow our inner guidance, I don't know, any encouragement, any guidance for us? It's very open-ended, I know.
Well, we love you all so very much, and you're doing a wonderful job, and keep opening, keep stretching, keep trying things you've not done before. Yes, if you've done something for a while, do it differently. Keep doing it differently. Keep changing what it is that you do. You be the element of change, because change is happening anyway, but you be the one that says, I'm going to make the change, and I'll keep changing more quickly. I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do the other. Yes, and each day make it your business to do something new. Something small, it doesn't have to be something big, but have a new thought, have a new idea, put something different together, speak to somebody differently, think about somebody differently, think about somebody you've not thought about, think about somebody in the future that you'd like to meet. Yes, there are so many things that you can really begin to activate more of your brain cells. You can activate so much more of that brain. You really use very little of it. We love you very much, but you're not using very much of it yet. And it takes this ability to be a catalyst for change, and to be somebody who says, I'm going to do it every day. Because most of you don't. Most of you get into a nice little groove and say, I like doing this at 10:15 on these days, and this is when we broadcast, and that's fine for a while. And we're not saying you shouldn't do that, but we are saying you shake it up. Shake it up. Keep shaking it on up.
That's very difficult for us to do, because we have this whole survival instinct, this whole ego mind that tells us that change is dangerous, because we do it because we don't know if we could survive it, since it hasn't been survived yet before. But I guess if we just enter into it, we shake things up, but we just continue to affirm and stay in the positive vibration, then synchronicity is going to support us. Grace will support us, yes?
Absolutely. Beautifully put. Tricia, you're on wavelength. You're perfectly in alignment with what you are doing. This is exactly what you are supposed to be doing at this time. You're trusting your guides, your angels, your animal spirits, all the angels that really communicate with you, many guides, many animals around you, yes.
Thank you.
Lots of birds around you. I'm not quite sure if you're aware how many birds are around you.
I have birds in my family. I have 4 birds in my family now, and I've had many birds in my family who in the past, so that makes a lot.
A lot of birds. Lots and lots of birds, yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. And so really, just listen to those birdies. You've noticed that birds, they don't hang around very long in one spot unless you put them in a cage. Really, they don't hang around much. Yes, whoop, they're off, yeah.
Yes, indeed. Well, that is a beautiful message. Thank you for that. For me personally, I really appreciate it. Well, if you have anything else, then we
are done now. We're going to bring Barbara back now. Is that all right with you?
Absolutely. Thank you so
We
much.
love you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for allowing those messages to come through, for allowing the frequency of the Pleiadians to come through, Barbara. What a gift.
Thank you. Thank you.
What a treasure, what a gift.
Thank you.
How is it for you with this channeling experience? You said it's been about 4 years. Was the energy in any way challenging to run at first? Sometimes when we run new energy, it can be a bit, as we're releasing, I think, is how we tend to experience it. Or did it kind of, were you just really prepared and ready for it?
No, I was not prepared and ready for it at all. Oh, goodness gracious, no. No, it took me completely by surprise because I didn't expect anything. Mm-hmm. I really didn't. I'd had one coaching session with Summer Bacon, and she channels Dr. Peebles. She's wonderful.
Oh, yes. I have a friend who channels Dr. Peebles as well. And I think that maybe Summer Bacon was who she worked with. So lovely, yes.
Okay, yeah. So Summer Bacon, pretty amazing channel. She's been doing it for a very long time and very wonderful qualities, trance medium. And she just very expressly said to me, don't expect anything. And I said, I promise you I don't. And literally, I just somehow, it was like all of a sudden my throat and everything clammed up. And it was very, very, very uncomfortable for about 3 days. It was like, I felt as though my throat was on fire and
wow.
My neck was, everything was strange. But all the time they were going, we are the Pleiadians, yeah? And I could feel them trying to get it out as they moved my jaw. Mm. So it took a while.
So you were a musician before, or you still are? Were you a singer? Just curious as
piano, violin.
Pardon?
Compose. Piano and violin and composing.
Oh, lovely. My husband's a composer.
Really?
But yes. But it's the music is a form of channeling and the frequency. So it does make a lot of sense, the vibration of sound, and that eventually you became a voice channel.
Yeah, it seemed to be that. And then the painting, I've never painted in my life, but the paintings are all channeled. I mean, I don't.
You'd never painted before, and then that started to happen? Those are lovely. I was going to ask you. If you're listening, you should actually go check out the YouTube version of this, because Barbara is sitting in front of some of her work. And of course, it's always in her YouTube videos as well. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
And so did that suddenly start to just happen in the way that the channeling kind of spontaneously? Yeah. Amazing.
Totally.
That's wonderful. And so do you actually, by the way, I'm curious, do you actually sell your work, your art?
I do, yes. I have people who commission the art. Sometimes they want the Pleiadians to paint something for them. Mm-hmm. So I do those. And then sometimes people buy the ones that they see that I create. So
that's, yeah. And so is it, so the Pleiadians sometimes channel the artwork through you, and other times are there other beings, or is it just higher self? What is the subject of the various kinds of art that you produce?
It just seems to be, I just say to them, come on guys, what am I painting? I'll say, right, I want something for the new moon in Taurus or something. And then off they go. They choose the colors. I feel myself being guided, and then pick out the colors. And then I just allow my hand or body to be guided. It's a bit like, I suppose, automatic painting rather than automatic writing.
This seems like this is what conscious medicine, how it is created, whether it's holistic or if it is something that is even more traditional Western. That's I think how it happens. It's just guidance.
Yes.
And so
musicians are just channeling, aren't they? Really?
Yes. Actually, that's what when I kind of had my awakening and the different kinds of intuitive receiving and sensing and channeling and everything were opening up for me. My husband, we had been together for almost a decade, and that's how I explained it to him, being a musician. I said, when you sit down to compose a new piece, you clear your mind, and it comes from nowhere to somewhere. It's the same thing. And it really helped him to put it in perspective.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's amazing. And so you're still doing one-on-one sessions? Do you do charts, natal charts and transits and everything?
I still do charts. I still do channel readings. I do mixtures of the two sometimes for people.
Oh, brilliant. I am going to be booking with you. It's very exciting. Now, you had mentioned in our previous in our conversation before we actually started this about something about part of fortune. Can you explain? I'm not familiar with this. What is this? What does that mean?
Well, in your astrology chart, you have a fine balance between what's known as your sun sign. So what sun sign are you? You're Pisces, are you?
I am, yes. Mm-hmm.
Pisces. And I don't know, do you know your ascendant?
Virgo.
Okay. Oh, the opposite. Okay. So the sun is in the 7th or the 6th house? Do you know?
I don't know. No.
We'll take a look at that. Do you know where your moon is?
Capricorn.
All right. So that's interesting. Whoa, that is an interesting mix. Okay.
I know that. I know that much.
Wow. Okay. Pisces, Capricorn, Virgo. So what the part of fortune does is it synthesizes those three parts of the chart, depending whether you're born in the night or in the or in the day. And the part of fortune is the synthesis of those 3 points in your chart. And it's probably in a different sign altogether and a different house. And that part of fortune is a place where you can grow, where you learn, where you get abundance, where you get goodies. It's a very sensitive part of the chart. And so I've done a short ebook and a video about that. So.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, we will put links to both the ebook and the video in the show notes here as well. Well, that's just fascinating. And actually, as you say, whether you're born in the evening or in the day, I was actually born right around the trend, like in the betwixt and between time. I was born right when the sun was in the transitional. So I'm sure that means something.
Yes.
Strange.
Everything means something in your astrology chart, Tricia.
Right.
Everything.
Oh, wow. Well, we are out of time just about. Is there anything else you would like to share with the audience? Any other way that we can connect with your work? How I may support you? Thank you for everything.
Thank you very much. I really feel as though you've been an amazing host today. Thank you very much for having me on your show.
Thank you.
I've really enjoyed the interaction with you. It's been intelligent and thought-provoking and enjoyable. And yeah, I just really want to thank you for having me today. And I will gladly promote what you're doing as well. So thank you very much, Tricia.
Oh, what an honor. And I just cherish this time that we've had. And I really just look forward to all of the work that you continue to produce. So thank you so very much. So much gratitude for everything that you're doing and for being here today.
Thank you very much, Tricia. Great pleasure.
Be sure to check out all of Barbara's work on YouTube and her website. Again, all those links are in the show notes, as well as that upcoming October workshop that she'll be doing. I know I will be there live stream, if not in Greece. That would be fantastic too. And so that will do it for this show. I thank you all so very much for being here. Thanks for tuning in. I love you, whoever you are.